Hi there, this is Hans-Peter speaking. If you're a composer or producer working with virtual instruments, you know the pain of managing articulation maps across different DAWs. Today we're introducing ArtiQverse, the Universal Articulation Mapping solution that will revolutionize your workflow. Whether you're using Cubase, Nuendo, Dorico, Logic Pro, Studio One, Digital Performer, Reaper, Cakewalk, or any other DAW, ArtiQverse is your central hub for creating, converting, and managing articulation maps. Let's start with a quick tour of the ArtiQverse interface. On the left, you have your articulation list where all your articulations live. The center is your main control area for editing triggers and settings. This floating toolbox here gives you quick access to essential tools, and the collapsible side panel manages metadata as well as supplementary files. Now, let me introduce you to iQLense, ArtiQverse's intelligent companion tool that captures articulation names directly from your screen using advanced OCR technology. iQLense comes in two flavors. iQLense Basic is included with every ArtiQverse purchase and gives you instant screen capture and text recognition. See an articulation list in your plugin? Simply draw a rectangle around it and iQLense reads the text and sends it straight to ArtiQverse. No more tedious typing. For power users, there's iQLense Pro, an optional upgrade that transforms your workflow with automated scanning. Pro doesn't just capture names, it captures everything. It automatically sends MIDI triggers to your instrument, watches for interface changes, captures both the articulation names and their associated key switches, CCs, or program changes, then builds your complete map automatically. And here is another unique feature, iQSpace, our cloud-based community repository where composers share their articulation maps. Why reinvent the wheel? Someone may have already created the perfect map for your favorite library. With iQSpace, you can search, download, and import maps instantly. Find the map for Vienna Symphonic Library, Spitfire, orchestral tools. Over time, we aim to offer virtually any sample library you can imagine. And when you create a great map, share it back. Upload your maps with full metadata, ratings, and even attach supplementary files like contact snapshots or VST presets. You're not just using a tool, you're part of a community. Every map is stored in ArtiQverse's Universal ArtiQ format, preserving all the rich metadata and making conversions seamless. Download once, export to any DAW. Everything is designed for clarity and efficiency. Now let's see ArtiQverse in action. Let's create an articulation map from scratch for a string library. I start by naming our map with its strings iQLense 1. Now I'll add my first articulation, legato. For the remote trigger, I'll set it to program change mode and assign 1. Note that you can use different remote triggers, such as program change, key switches, control changes. As trigger mode, we have set up here attribute, but we could also select direction and toggle. Let's give it a color for visual organization. In this case, I like to pick red for legato. And let's also assign the output key switches. In this case, legato is assigned to D1 and A1. Now I select the DAW symbol for legato, and watch this. ArtiQverse automatically finds the best matching symbols for all other DAWs. Click Add Articulation, and we're ready for the next one. Notice how ArtiQverse intelligently increments the key switch, saving us time. But here is where ArtiQverse really shines. I have your regular articulation map here with 16 articulations. Watch how easy it is to save as an articulation set plist for Logic Pro. I just simply move down here, select Logic Pro articulation set, hit save, select my folder, and again save, and we are done. And just like that, I have a perfectly converted articulation set ready for logic. Need to convert multiple maps at once? Up here in the File and Batch Convert feature, you will find the option to input a full folder of articulation maps and have it output into another folder with your desired target format. And just like that, you can handle entire folders effortlessly. Let me show you 3 powerful features in the toolbox that will transform how you edit multiple articulations. First, let's look at the absolute mode. I have 23 different articulations here with different key switches scattered across the keyboard. Now I want all of them to trigger from the same velocity, let's say 100. Watch this. I make sure I'm in absolute mode, select all articulations, click into any velocity field, type 100, and press Shift-Enter. And boom! All velocities are now set to exactly 100. But what if I want them all on the same CC value? Same thing. With absolute mode, I can instantly align any parameter across multiple articulations. Now here is where relative mode becomes magical. Say I have a set of key switches that are perfectly spaced, but they're all 1 octave too low. I switch to relative mode, select all of them, and watch what happens when I change the second key switch from D1 to D2. Every single key switch moved up by exactly 1 octave, preserving their relative spacing. This is incredibly powerful for transposing entire sections while maintaining their relationships. The same works for CC values. Need to boost all your CCA numbers by 10? Relative mode maintains the differences between them. But here's my favorite workflow accelerator, sequential increment. Let's say I'm setting up a new map and I want each articulation on consecutive key switches. I'll set my first articulation to C0, then select all the articulations I want to assign. Click in the key switch field, and instead of typing values, I use the sequential increment button. Watch this. Instant chromatic mapping. C0, C#0, D0, D#0. What would have taken minutes of individual editing is done in 1 click. Need to go backwards? The sequential decrement button works the same way. And here is a pro tip. This works with any parameter. CC values, velocities, even MIDI channels. Combine these 3 modes with the adjustment controls using Alt-arrow keys for fine-tuning, and you have the most powerful articulation editing toolkit available anywhere. Now let's dive a little deeper into the configuration options of iQLense Pro. For professional users, iQLense Pro takes automation to the next level. Let me show you the ProScan configuration with this contact instrument. First, I configure a hierarchy. Level 0 will scan through my key switches from A1 to F2. I select the region where articulation names appear. Make sure that DCA2 is selected. By the way, DCA2 stands for Differential Capture Analysis Mode and thus is perfect for interfaces with multiple changing elements. And as you may have noticed in this contact instrument, some articulations contain multiple lines. In these cases, we want to enable the multi-line grouping. Now that we added our first level, note that the contact instrument offers variations of the main articulations, such as different vibrato styles. Let's define these sub-articulations at level 1. At level 1, we instruct to scan through the key switches from D1 to G1. We select the region. Note that in this case, we want to select a different analysis mode. For this, we have single capture analysis mode, optimized for text displaying articulation information at a single location. Now I'll set up the MIDI connection using the virtual MIDI port. Note that on Windows, you will need to use an external driver for setting up the MIDI port. A freely available driver is Loop MIDI by Tobias Eriksson. More information on setting up Loop MIDI with iQLense can be found in the manual. Back to macOS, iQLense Pro offers a built-in virtual MIDI port, but you are free to use any other port available on your system. Finally, we want to ensure that our configured MIDI port is selected in Contact. With everything configured, let's start the ProScan. Watch as iQLense automatically sends each key switch, captures the articulation name, and builds your complete map. It's detecting legatos, sustans, staccatos, pizzicatos, tremolo, everything, including the exact trigger notes. In under 30 seconds, we've created a complete professional articulation map that would have taken 20 minutes or more to build manually. So that's the complete ArtiQverse ecosystem. The main application for creating and converting, iQLense for intelligent capture, and iQSpace for community sharing. I hope this has given you an insight on what ArtiQverse can do for your workflow. Visit ArtiQverse.com and stop wasting time on repetitive tasks such as fighting with incompatible formats, manual mapping, or recreating work that's already been done. With ArtiQverse, you'll spend less time managing articulations and more time making music. This is the tool we have been waiting for, and now it's finally here. Visit ArtiQverse.com to learn more. Be among the first to experience the future of articulation mapping. Thank you. See you soon.